Welcome to episode 23, and we're a little late. We've been all over the place. I've been traveling and didn't get back in till later yesterday, and just made more sense to do it today so we could catch up on everything that happened. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. This is going to be an episode, so bear with us because we have a lot to cover and a lot to say. We were pretty silent this weekend on socials for a lot of reasons, but just needed to digest everything because we're here to give you factual news. And obviously, a lot of what we saw over the past 5-6 days were not very factual. So we like to wait until we get the facts to tell you guys what's going on. So this will be good for everyone who's like, what happened? What got kind of overshadowed, and what are the facts? We got everything for you this week. So let's just jump right into what feels like happened years ago, but only happened like 6 days ago.
Literally a week ago. So NATO invoked Article 4 after there were 19 Russian drones that entered their airspace. So what's Article 4? Basically, all of the NATO allies essentially consult and say, what are we going to do about this? This is kind of crazy, right? They're trying to attack us, right? And usually after Article 4 comes Article 5, which will be all the NATO allies will attack said person who is attacking the one ally who is, being attacked. So shit's not looking good on the geopolitical things right now. Everybody's just absolutely losing it. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's trying to attack somebody. Yeah, they're ready. So, I mean, it's crazy too, because I think I remember a candidate running against the current president saying this exact thing would happen.
Yeah.
I wish she had done a better job of warning us, telling us that Russia would try to invade Poland after invading Ukraine. It's almost like we've been told this exact thing was going to happen.
Crazy.
We're going to see what happens on that. So that's just another thing to put on your UW3 watch. Okay. So after that, the House Oversight Committee got the entire Jeffrey Epstein birthday book from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. So this is his stuff. This is his stuff that he was just keeping in his house. Okay. In that birthday book, which some people were saying it was like the way that it's put together, it's almost like a ritual type thing where they're like telling, yes, they're saying happy birthday, but like they're doing it weirdly. It's saying like how much they love him and like adding in a very strange anecdote of them doing creepy rapist shit. So in one of those pages of the birthday book, there was a picture of him, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald, and some other person, and faces are blurred out, and there's a big check for $22,500. And in the note under the picture, the person who wrote the note to Jeffrey wrote a joke about selling a depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,500. And a lot of people made this very good point that when you have money like that, you don't make jokes. You just do it. So that was one of the things that was in the birthday book. There was also another very wild picture of, it was a drawing, Jeffrey handing balloons to 3 little girls, and in the next iteration of that picture, the girls are grown up and they're like giving him a massage and doing what you think they would be doing in that picture, because it's Jeffrey Epstein. So, and also there's a building in the background. It's Mar-a-Lago. It's Mar-a-Lago. There's no debating that. Like, it's literally, if you put them right next to each other, it's Mar-a-Lago. So that whole he's not on the list, he has nothing to do with it, he never met that guy, that's debunked. That's him. The signature, that's his. They said they were going to bring in a handwriting specialist. We know they're not going to do that.
We heard of that,
because if they do that, then the handwriting specialist is going to be like, yep, or they're going to pay her to be like, no, these very similar signatures that are exactly the same are not the same.
Are not the same. Clearly.
Not at all.
Because I don't want them to be the same. So therefore, they're
Yeah.
not the same.
So the Jeffrey Epstein saga is going to keep getting worse and worse, and we're going to keep finding out more stuff. We need one more signature to
We're at
get the files
217. We
released
need 218.
because the Dems won another special election. I'm
Mhm.
blanking on the state, but they won another House seat, or I think it was Virginia. Immediately said, yeah, I'm going to sign it. One more person, September 3rd, special election in Arizona, I believe. And it is to fill a seat that was already held by a Democrat. So
We're gonna get that signature.
we're going
I
to get
trust
a
that we
little
won't forget
closer.
who didn't sign it.
Oh, yeah, we know. People are tracking it.
Mhm.
So that's where we're at with Epstein. And that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened this past week. Not even close.
No.
Not even close.
No. We're going to talk about it. We are very aware of what happened and did not actively post about it because we wanted to talk about it here now that we have watched everything that unfolded and we have thoughts. So we're both going to be covering this. And that is obviously what happened to Charlie Kirk. If you are living under a rock, then you might not know this, but it looks like everybody knows that he was killed. Um, he his whole thing is Turning Point. He goes around to college campuses and he debates college age kids, trying to just put his hateful rhetoric into young people's minds. And he was there at an event and he was shot and killed in front of a lot of people. We both made statements separately that we both do not condone political violence. We have been advocates for gun reform since we were probably kids at this point, right, Tevin?
Yeah.
Kids. I mean, I don't know how many more times we have to say that we're not okay with gun violence in any form. So, no, we don't condone what happened,
Nope.
but you are not going to see us mourning or saying he was a good guy or sharing stories or sharing his obituary. No. And so, yeah, you didn't see us make a video on it, and there was a couple reasons for it. One, he wasn't getting attention from me personally on it. I said that I don't condone it, and I think that's all I needed to say, and that I hope that, if anything, this is what brings about gun control, which is insane that it wasn't school shootings with children, that it would be Charlie Kirk. That's crazy, but that's what I felt the need to say on. And also, it was very apparent very quickly that obviously the crazy far right decided they knew who did it with absolutely no evidence, no one in custody, even though they had people in custody that weren't the shooter. But they decided they knew exactly who did it and that it was the left and that the entire party was to blame and that we should all go to war. And it turned very violent on their end very fast with absolutely no evidence, but yet we're the party of hate. That's craziness. So for us, we were like, we just need to lay low for a second. We're not going to feed in. They obviously have very high emotions right now. They want to be violent. We have watched them be violent. January 6th was a perfect example of just how violent they would like to be. And I don't even think that was the full extent of how violent they wanted to be that day. We're just gonna lay low and watch what unfolds because in my heart, I just knew this wasn't the end, and it wasn't. Because when they did figure out who the shooter was, it was absolutely not who they wanted it to be. And everyone made that very well known. The
Governor.
MAGA crazies were like, even what was it, the governor of Utah that was like, I hoped it wasn't one of us. Like, they're just saying the things out loud. Nancy Mace went on a rampage before she figured out who it was, saying hateful things that I'm not even going to repeat here because it's just terrible. These people went out and said what they thought it was, and it wasn't. And then all of a sudden, the tune changed, and we need to pray for them, pray for the shooter and their family. And even some people went as far to say, like, if they actually knew who Charlie Kirk was, they wouldn't have pulled the trigger. It's crazy, the switch up, and that they're still finding ways to blame us. The vice president still saying that it is our fault after knowing all the facts and probably knowing more than we know, because that's just how it works. So I was traveling to an undisclosed location because we're no longer sharing personal things anymore. Sorry, guys. That's done. Traveling to an undisclosed location, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on, but Devin texted me an SOS about the situation. All we knew at the time was that he was shot. And yes, I went and somebody had posted the video. I didn't realize what I was watching. It was terrible. And it's crazy because I thought I was desensitized to it all. Being a millennial and having to witness all the things that we've witnessed, I thought I'd be like, when I saw it, I was shocked by my visceral response. I was, like, absolutely appalled by what I saw, and
Literally.
that just made me feel some type of way, let me tell you. It made me feel some type of way, it made Devin feel some type of way. We were like and then I knew, obviously, if you saw the close-up, you knew the ending. So, it was just kinda waiting for that headline to hit, but we all knew that was not something that he would survive. So, it was, like, living with that because not a lot of people had seen it. And being like, "Okay, now we're just kinda waiting and waiting." And then the news came out that he died, and what's crazy is that the news was dropped by Trump himself on True Social. That is absolutely wild.
Very weird. That doesn't happen.
Wild. We don't condone gun violence, but we're not mourning somebody who spent his entire life spewing hateful rhetoric. Nothing is taken out of context, so don't tell us that. Nothing's taken out of context. It's just not, you don't want to believe what you're hearing. You want to find some way to spin it, and that's on you. It's not on me, not on Devin. We know what he meant. He meant what he said. And, there's a video Devin and I shared from a pastor who said the way he died does not redeem the life he lived. And I think that's a perfect way to put it. But I will say it did clear out a lot of my following. Some of you guys slipped through the cracks, and it's crazy. Let's talk about that for a second. It is crazy that a lot of you stayed silent during the election. You didn't let us know. You didn't want us to know who you really were. But Charlie Kirk is what did it. That's what brought you
That was my
out of the
beef.
woodworks, like, that's what did it, is crazy.
Huh?
I was baffled. I was like, "Am I the only one?" And then I'm on TikTok and so many people are posting videos like, "Do we feel like this was, like, the night of the election again and that we're in a time zone? Because where did you all come from and how did you slip through the cracks?" So I had to go and deep dive, and I have to face some things that I was shocked and appalled by. That's crazy work. But
My flowers are
a
gassed up.
lot of you have some explaining to do as to why this is what made you come out and make crazy statements and not the election. Like, you should just
Oh,
own
don't
what you
explain.
believe.
Don't explain. We're good.
Well, no, we're already done.
We're good.
We're good on
You're
that.
done.
Just mean, like, it's just crazy that out of all of this, that's what it took to get you guys out. And I wanna make a point to say that a lot of people used politics as their saving grace, like, "Oh, I'm not racist, I just voted for Trump because I want gas to be cheaper," or I just wanted him to crack down on immigration. I don't agree with everything, but I voted for him, but I'm not a bad person. Charlie Kirk is not a politician. He doesn't have any say in your life. He's not going to change any laws. He is a podcaster. He's an influencer, maybe if that's what you guys want to call him. But he's a podcaster. He's not doing anything for your life. So for you to really die on that hill is
Oh,
crazy because it really just shows who you are to me. Wait, when you don't even say anything about the election, but you say something about this, it just shows that the masks are fully off and you guys are comfortable now saying it publicly. And you know what? I'm happy because now I can get rid of all of you from my inner circle faster, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't have to thank you. Just tell me how you feel so I can be like, "Okay, perfect. Cut ties. I'm done."
not a word on a single mass shooting. Not a word on children being bombed.
There was a whole other shooting that day.
We've
We
had
live in
more
a
than
country where,
300.
like, breaking news
Yeah, it
of
was
a
at the same
shooting
time.
yeah, has another breaking news of a shooting right behind it, and
There was
that was
more
overshadowed.
days. There was over 360 mass shootings this year, and it's like, oh, you haven't. But now,
But
okay,
now and then they're like, "How dare you? I have to send my kids to school every day, you know how terrified I am?" If you were, then you would vote that way.
I am.
So I don't wanna hear that. I don't wanna hear the, like, "How dare you tell me that I don't care about school shootings because I have kids and I have to send them to school." Then you would have used your vote to vote for a party who wants gun reform. We could go back and forth. But at the end of the day, I feel like this could have been a common ground for everyone, which is like, it's the guns, right? And it's still not that.
Nope, they're just like the left did it.
The
That's
left
it.
did it, and they're the party of hate and violence. Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
they said the
We're
left
over
did
here
it.
like, I don't even want you to have a weapon. What do you mean?
That's it. I just want it to be harder to get. I don't want you to not have it. I just want it to be harder to get. That's all.
Yeah, why does a 22-year-old have that type of weapon? I wonder why you go to his parents' Facebook page and they're just all posing with multiple assault rifles. That I'll never understand. But what's crazy is the aftermath of the situation, which Devin's gonna dive more into.
So we find out who the kid that shot him is,
Who done
and
did it?
it's who we thought it would be. It's who we knew it would be. White, male, conservative family, dad is a pastor, has connections to the police. When grandma was asked about it, grandma said, "How dare these people accuse my grandson of being a liberal? He may be a murderer, but he is not a liberal." Okay? So,
Francis said, "Wait a damn minute."
what did you just call him? Yeah, we called him a murderer. No, the other thing.
Oh, the other thing,
A what? I'm gonna sue you. So yeah, that's where grandma was at with it. And we keep on finding out more and more. And we get to the point where Nick Fuentes' name comes up.
enters the chat.
We are we're finding out a whole bunch of shit about MAGA we had no idea about. So Nick Fuentes has his own little subcult of MAGA, but they're not really MAGA because they don't like MAGA.
No.
Ironically,
They're like the
they
leftist.
don't they don't think.
It's just what it is. It's that on the right. They're the rightist.
Yeah. The rightists, well, that's not what they are, but we'll get there. They don't think MAGA is extreme enough. And that tracks because Nick Fuentes is straight up like, yeah, I'm a Nazi.
Mhm.
Like that's what I do. I'm a Nazi. So we find out this kid is part of a subsect of Nick Fuentes' cult called Groypers, and they have beef with Charlie Kirk because they say, oh, he's not extreme enough. Oh, they say they said he was a moderate, or saying he was a moderate Republican. I was like, okay, whatever. So you could and Nick Fuentes, he's starting to try to get some these videos scrubbed where he is straight up saying, my groypers have infiltrated Turning Point U. I'm gonna eat you alive one way or another.
Mhm.
So you could
Same
almost
guy who
say,
said, "Your body, my choice." That's
yeah,
that.
that guy. So, I mean, honestly, we can say this is gang violence. This is gang violence. He's one of Nick Fuentes's people went up and assassinated Charlie Kirk.
Mhm.
Now, these groypers, we are finding out everything about this against our will. So, these guys, I don't know, whatever they identify as, they don't give a fuck about sexuality. Did not know that there was a part of MAGA that, was like this. They will recruit and groom other like little Nazis to transition to become women. Now they say because women have it easier, but I mean women aren't fucking these dudes. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna make it work ourselves. We're gonna figure it out. Okay. They're doing that. And then there's also furries involved. And apparently Nick Fuentes used to date a furry. So they got a whole nother world going on over there. So this is the group that went after and killed Charlie Kirk. And also, just about an hour and change ago, somebody who was wearing the same shirt as the kid Tyler Robinson was kicking and like fucking up a whole Charlie Kirk vigil, flowers, candles, everything in Arizona. So now that's looking like, okay, he was either inspired, or is it another Groiper? Are the
Mhm.
Groipers declared war on Turning Point? So that happened. The weirdness did not stop there. Charlie Kirk's wife did a commercial for her
No,
husband's death. She
it was like a war
basically
commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
some crazy eyes,
we're going to war. Didn't
battle
outright say
cry.
it, but we're organizing, we're getting together. My husband's work will continue. We don't know what they just unleashed. I had to tell our daughter that daddy went on a work trip with Jesus to afford the blueberries or some shit. So very weird. She didn't cry, but I mean, after I learned that she's a
Very
pageant
angry.
person, then like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Posted a picture of his dead body.
In a casket.
Like he got flown his body got flown on Air Force 2. They want to start trying to introduce bills to make statues of him and
Flags at
have him
half-mast.
lie in state. They're telling states to fly the flags at half mast, and it's just like it's just like the hypocrisy of it all. Melissa Portman, and I forget the other Minnesota lawmaker's name that lived, nothing. It happened. They were making jokes about it. They were,
Didn't even go.
they were doing Nightmare on Wall Street. Like
Mhm.
people were literally laughing that this woman, her husband, and her fucking dog were dead.
Yeah. You know who did the Nightmare on Wall Street? The senator of Utah is the one who did the Nightmare on Wall Street. Just gonna let that sink in for a second. But he's the one, and he's also the one that was like, I believe he's the one that was like, I was hoping it wouldn't be one of us who
Oh,
did.
that was their governor. The governor said, I was hoping it wouldn't be one of us. I was hoping it'd
It's
be
like,
somebody from another country.
that's crazy work that the one who said Nightmare on Wall Street is.
He flat out said he wanted it to be, without saying it, to be an immigrant. And I forgot one of the funniest parts of this. So when they were trying to, pin this on, not Tyler Robinson, they said the shell casing we found had transgender ideology on it. It had TRN on it. Turns out that's just the manufacturer.
Cash for call,
They
everyone.
they said that the other ones they had memes on them basically. One of them gave a code to the game Helldivers on how to basically like drop a bomb on someone. One of them said, "Hey fascists, catch." Now that's the one they're latching onto, but apparently with the groypers, they call like the Charlie Kirk type people fascists. I don't know, man. And then the last one said, if you're reading this, you're gay. So this was a shit poster
Yeah.
assassination.
Uh-huh.
Like this is just, but I mean, we got the president and the vice president using this to try and start a civil war because you had a whole bunch of people making videos saying this is civil war, this is it, this is the last straw, the left is the party of evil and murder. And we're like, hey man, we don't even go to Utah first. And you
First
know
of
what, the calling and the bomb threats to aid HBCUs on 9/11, crazy fucking work when you didn't even know who it was. Black people again were minding their business. Why would you do that? Black people don't go to Utah. We're not in Utah. Utah,
Utah.
University of Utah, at a Charlie Kirk. You thought black people? Okay,
So
Naval
there's a live
Academy.
stream, and if you look at the live stream and look at who was there, I
I
can tell
didn't
you who
see anybody
wasn't
look like
there.
me. I didn't see anybody look like me. Shooting at the Naval Academy. Shots fired at UMass the very next day. But we are the party of violence. Y'all got it.
It's never gonna make sense.
We were minding our business. Everybody was minding our business, and all of a sudden we became terrorists.
Isn't that crazy?
I forgot the very last thing. The vice president. Yeah, I don't. Did they have the funeral yet?
No, trust that will be
Yeah.
all over the that
Okay.
will be
So
yeah.
before the funeral even happened, the vice president said, "You know what? I think I'm going to take over Charlie's podcast." He hosted the podcast today to do a little bit of state-run media. Interviewed Susie Wiles, Stephen Miller. You think they're not going to you think they're not going to take that podcast? You think they're not going to turn that into state-run media?
Our vice president
You
doing a
think JD's
podcast, taking over an independent, like a citizens podcast.
you think JD's not going to use that to try and get his own cult following? It's right there.
I'll get the youngins now.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity for him. Honestly, that's smart. It's evil, and I fucking hate it.
It's
But
evil. evil.
Didn't even have the damn funeral yet, and you took the man's podcast. That's crazy.
That's crazy work.
That's crazy.
Like,
Y'all
where
don't
the
find that weird?
pendulum.
That's not you don't find
We're
that
not mourning
suspicious?
enough.
You don't find that suspicious?
We haven't said enough. We haven't condemned it enough, but taking over the podcast and using it to talk about how we need to keep the House, the Senate. He hasn't even had a funeral yet. That's wild work. Wild
Oh,
work.
can't forget people are losing their jobs. You're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that because that's insanity. That's another reason why everyone was really like, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything anymore." Then fine.
Yeah, because they want to dox us. They want
Yeah.
to dox people for not being sad,
Yeah.
for saying they don't care that he's
And you
gone.
know what's crazy is what I'm about to talk about would have been headline news, and this was just breezed over. Breezed over. Because you wanna know what happened? This happened on 9/10. You know what the next day is? 9/11. So, Trump had a pretty busy day because he had to go, obviously, do his 9/11 memorial events. And in the morning, he went to the Pentagon. And during the 9/11 memorial, cameras are zooming in on his face and what I believe, the left side of his face, maybe it was the right, depending on if it's flipped or not, full sag, just full South Park face melt, Christy Gnome on the one side of his face. There is no, you don't get to say that's not what it was. I'm not opening that for debate. That's what it was.
Would you text me? Is he having a stroke?
I thought he was actively having one. That's how bad it was. Like, the internet went crazy, as did I, like, is this man having another stroke? Because we know that's not the first stroke he's had. Obviously, the White House is just
Not a
pretending it didn't
word.
happen,
Not a
and that's when you
word.
know something happened, is when they go radio silent. That's when you really know something happened, because they really can't spin that one. How do you how do you spin that one? They could say it's AI all they want, it was a live event, and I'm just saying that that video made Biden look like he should have been on the cover of a men's health catalog. I don't wanna hear shit. I don't wanna hear it.
Thing was hanging.
Yeah, that thing hanging, and I don't wanna hear it's 'cause he's sad because we're gonna talk about that later, why he wasn't sad. He was We'll talk about that later.
Mm.
Not sad, so I don't wanna hear that, and then if you're sad, your whole face is sagging, not just one side.
Well, he was sad after, he had to make the decision to pull the National Guard out of Chicago because they made it
Taco.
very clear that they did not want them there.
Oh, yeah.
So that whole, yeah, I'm going to get the blue cities. I don't know. It's not Cali didn't go the way you wanted. Chicago got up out of there immediately. So instead of, going to Chicago where they said, hey, man, get the fuck out of here. We're not doing this shit. Get the fuck out of here. He said, you know what? Fine. I'm going to stomp my feet and I'm going to go to a red state where I know
Mhm.
they're going to cooperate. So he called up the governor of Tennessee. He said, I'm going to bring in the National Guard. We're going to send them to Memphis. We're going to clean up the crime. He's like, hell yeah. Send him here.
Send 'em.
Why not? Please, daddy. I'd like some more. And also, a CEO in St. Louis, the Union Pacific CEO, Jim Venna, called him up and said, there's crime in St. Louis. We need the National Guard. Can you send them here? And Trump said, hell yeah. I've actually been itching to send the National Guard everywhere. Sure.
I don't think
Mind
he
you, the
knows where
governor.
St. Louis is.
No, no, no. He said, but I'll do it. And the governor and the mayor have no idea. Didn't talk to him about this. They didn't call him, didn't ask him. They're like, we don't know what the hell is going on, but I guess, sure, since we're a red state, we're going to bend the knee. I mean, what else are we going to do? Face the wrath of our constituents that we're not listening to our king? Absolutely not. So that's where we're at on the National Guard stuff. They're
He's
still
also not
picking up
giving up
trash.
on Chicago. He's just, as he
No,
says, tabling it for now, which means I'll run it back soon.
I'm gonna try it again.
Gonna be like the tariffs. Every now and then he's gonna be like, Chicago, it's back on my radar, and they're gonna go, no. He's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll come back later.
We're gonna get out the salt trucks
Hmm?
because the
So
salt melts ice.
Talk about our ICE updates. I'm going in an order that to me makes the most sense because it just gets worse and worse. So, everybody lost their minds this week because the administration told ICE that they no longer need to fill out any of that stupid paperwork, when they're making immigration arrests, just giving them the green light to just snatch people up and not have to take any notes to justify it.
They definitely weren't using paperwork before.
Yeah. So you want to know like what the police do when they're going to arrest you? When they take out their little notepad, what they're writing down? Everything. Why? Because it can be legally challenged in court, when you get your due process. You could say, "Hey, they wrongfully arrested me." And then they go, "Where are those notes? We see those notes." So that's why you see police officers doing paperwork when they want to arrest you. So they're saying that ICE agents, they don't have to have a paper trail as to why they snatched you up and kidnapped you. So are we seeing how this is going to end badly? We're seeing that. It's just the irony of it with Republicans when they're like, yeah, big government red tape. Everything they do is going to be to the code and it's going to be apparently that only matters if you fit the description. We all know that. It's just we come on here and we say the same thing every week. If you are not straight, white, man, sorry women, even straight white women, speak for myself here, you're not safe either. The hypocrisy is crazy. And it leads us into this next one, which is insanity. Franklin Park, Illinois. They're all mad at Illinois right now. So ICE has ramped up there. We are watching politicians literally chase ICE agents away in the street, like showing up in neighborhoods and fighting for their constituents, quite literally. Well, it's killed a father in an attempted arrest. A father. His name was Silvero Gonzalez, 38 years old, undocumented, a dad dropping off his kids at school, and they had their sights set on him because, according to ICE, he was a criminal. But the only record he has is like speeding tickets, minor traffic violations. That is definitely not a criminal. So, said that he tried to use his car as a weapon. Now, here's the problem. ICE agents don't wear body cameras because they are not police officers. And federal agents often don't even need to wear body cameras. That's crazy work. And now you've just gotten rid of any paper trail as to why they would even want to arrest him in the first place. Now there's no body camera footage. There's no evidence that this man did anything wrong. It is their word against a dead man who doesn't get to speak up for what happened. So we're left with ICE's versions of events because we don't get to hear the other side. This is why we tell you guys when you see ICE out in the street to record everything that happens. Chase them away, but make sure somebody is recording because this is what's going to happen. It's just going to get worse. They don't have to wear body cameras. They don't have to do any paperwork. This is what would they mean by where they start to normalize this type of behavior. We can't let them normalize this because then it just leads to this next part. Trump did it again. For the second time in 1 month, the U.S. military blew up a boat in international waters, allegedly, because we have no fucking evidence, carrying drugs from Venezuela, killing 3 people. 2 weeks ago, we reported on 11 people who were killed in the same exact scenario. So now we're up to 14 lives gone in a matter of days. No trial, no court, no due process. He said, but we never get the other side of the story. Why? Because the people who had the other side of the story are no longer here because our administration thought that they had the moral high ground. He is claiming the ocean was littered with bags of cocaine and fentanyl. Again, no evidence of that. The only evidence we got was a blurry video of them bombing the boat. That's all we get. And of course, posted right on the White House official page. Absolutely disgusting behavior. How this should have worked and what we've talked about is that drug busts at sea are typically done by the Coast Guard if they are in our waters. The Coast Guard would infiltrate, seize the cargo, arrest the suspects, bring them to court, do it that way. But with this administration, that's just not a thing anymore. And I want to say that don't think that we gloss over the fact that MAGA thinks we are the party of violence and that we are the heartless ones that don't care about people like Charlie Kirk, but yet you guys don't care about 14 people being murdered at sea with absolutely no evidence that they did anything wrong
because they felt like it.
because they felt like it. And then they shared video footage of it on the White House official page. Yeah. And again, drug related crimes do not result in the death penalty. None of them. So I don't want to hear that either. You're the same people that loved alligator Alcatraz. You seem to only care about certain people's lives.
It affects you.
So I don't think you have any moral high ground to stand on yourselves. And this is going to turn bad. And this is where I say again that you should be using your votes wisely when the primary comes up. You should be voting in politicians who are actively working against ICE and making sure that they are not in your state, in your city, in your town, that their police are not working with them, literally stopping them in any way they can. I literally watched a video of a politician show up in a rural neighborhood for their constituents and chased ICE away in heels.
Only the women are stepping up.
Use your votes wisely this primary because it's just going to get worse from here.
That's why we're building a catalog.
Yeah. Speaking of a catalog, Traders in the Chat has come back. Top Mess Index. This week, there could be a lot. We could go on, but the main ones that are very wild is Delta and United Airlines. So, we were talking about a little earlier that what happened after the Charlie Kirk assassination was that MAGA, specifically a January 6th insurrectionist that was pardoned, decided that it was his duty to dox people who he didn't feel spoke very highly of Charlie Kirk. So there was a website where you could anonymously submit anything on anyone who said anything about Charlie Kirk, and he would go figure out where you worked, where you lived, and dox you online, which is, yes, breaking a lot of federal laws and state laws and has since been taken down. But while it was going on, it came out that nearly 200 employees with Delta and United Airlines were fired for simply having opinions on the Charlie Kirk situation. One person said the only thing they said was they fact checked the type of bullet that was used. They fact checked. Somebody pointed out we are merely like months away from the busiest travel season of the year, and we already are seeing the effects of airline travel since Trump has entered office and how terrible it's gotten because he lays off everyone. We're seeing, possible clippings of airplane wings. We're watching flights be canceled because they don't have the staff. We are watching, just things we have not seen happen before. So now you fire 200 people in Delta and United for just having an opinion, and their opinion is being like the same as ours. Gun violence is not okay, but that does not mean that we need to praise Charlie Kirk and mourn him.
We're indifferent.
Two things can be true at once. We can say, hi, yes, we don't want anyone to be murdered, but we also don't want to hype up somebody who spent their entire career dehumanizing millions of people. Like two things can be true at once, but apparently at Delta and United, that's not the case. So to that I say there are plenty of other airlines. So when you're booking your holiday travel and you're spending hundreds of dollars on your flight, I would maybe not use Delta or United. That's crazy work. But there are more. There are more, and it will come out because people are now coming forward that they were fired, and people are letting you know
Teachers.
where they were fired from. And trust that certain governors, like Ron DeSantis in Florida, are saying that teachers will be dealt with. And we already have an issue staffing schools.
Continuing to add to the unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing.
They think we don't love a good boycott. Devin's the king of boycotts.
We're all going to be losing money and jobs together then, if that's the case.
Yeah, this was just not a great thing to do, Delta and United, right before everybody buys their flights for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Yikes. That's your choice, but choices have consequences. Now a lot of people like us aren't going to buy from you or fly with you. Sorry.
Sorry. I guess in better news, we have the Do Not Comply in Advance award. That's also back. That goes to Code Pink, the activist group who went to protest Trump right to his face in DC. What's it called? They were chanting free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. I heard that. I said, this is my favorite song. Turn it up.
You remember?
He was like, wait, people actually like hate me to my face? Like, you guys were like insulating me before, and I never actually had to face the people that don't
It was
like me,
wild.
but they're right here. And
It was
he was
too
just
close
like,
for comfort. I've never I think that's what so many people were like, "Wow, that was like an experience," because we've never seen him have to be so close to people protesting him. We've heard the boos in the stadiums when he goes to events and, just bigger things, but being in a small restaurant, like a side room in a restaurant where they could have literally touched him. Like, his security was, like, kinda standing off to the side, like, they were kinda like, "You need to hear this before we scurry them out." Like, you would think they would have been tackled to the ground the second they saw the hint of the flag come out. That was
hmm
wild because it went
they're
on
like,
for a
they're like,
good
oh wait,
minute before they
they're
were
white
shooting at
women.
her,
We're white
and you
women.
could tell
We're
that
not gonna
he
shoot these ones.
yeah, he was at a loss for words. He just went and stood there. He didn't say anything. He just put his hand up to get them to go. JD Vance, like, is standing there smirking and trying to laugh. Everybody there is filming. Like, it went on so long, and
Pete
I'm
Hegseth
happy
is
about it. Don't get me wrong. I just wasn't expecting it. Everyone was like, wow, this was, like, in his face.
Hegseth was standing there like, you want me to punch these ladies, boss?
These ladies definitely
I'm
didn't
used to
think
that.
they were gonna be able to be in there for that long. They were like, "Oh, I could chant this
No.
like 5 times before they take."
Oh, they were going for a minute. I was like,
Think
they're not
about
getting
it, they
zip
didn't.
tied.
Yeah, they were already chanting when the video started, so they'd already been doing it. We saw him in the back walk his way to the front, stand right in front of them, dumbfounded.
It's gotta be a shitty life, man.
Crazy work. Crazy work.
Why do you want to live a life where everywhere you go, you're gonna get booed?
And the secondhand
Like,
embarrassment of being with him in that setting and having to hear all of that and just stand there.
every single one of them, anytime they're caught out in public, it's him, JD, Hegseth, every single boo. Like, I simply would never go outside ever again.
I simply
That's just me.
wouldn't show up at an intimate restaurant in DC. Why are you doing that? Why was he there? Why is that allowed?
I think that was after he got booed at the US Open, right?
I
And
just
he
would be
wanted
like,
everyone
"Let's
to
go
be
have dinner
like,
at the White House." It's the only safe spot.
order some Big Macs off DoorDash.
Yeah, that was good for them. That was chef's kiss.
Yes. No notes.
No notes.
He is the Hitler of our time.
Let's do the yes, that really did happen. So, like we said, every time Trump gets a microphone in his hand, he just says some shit. And for once, we actually agree with something he said,
He
which
told
is
the truth.
he told the truth for once, which is not usually what happens when he gets a microphone. But he got on the microphone and was asked why people don't like him. Straight up. Why do people not like you? And he said, well, only smart people don't like him. And to that, I agree.
Like,
Wow.
aw,
Never
you think we're
thought I would
smart?
agree. But yes, it is smart people. If you don't like Trump, you are a smart person. He said.
That's what he said. That's what he
He
said.
said. Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing. Yes, I do.
He complimented us.
That was so sweet of him. Never thought I'd agree with him, but here we are. He also, unfortunately, when he does something like that, then he is like, oh, wait, that was too nice. Got to do something terrible, like downplay domestic violence, which for anyone thinking he's not in the Epstein files and then downplays domestic violence, I need you guys to start making it make sense to me.
He called it a small thing.
Merely a tiny blip,
So,
whatever.
MAGA wives, don't come crying to us when dude slugs you in the face because dinner wasn't
It
hot
was
when he
just a
got
small
home
thing.
from his construction job. Okay?
Yeah. But then he got on a hot mic again. So the morning after Charlie Kirk's assassination, he was asked how he was doing. You know, the news reporter tried to give him a little, hey, how you doing? How you holding up? He said, very good, By the way, all those trucks that you see outside, they're doing construction on my new ballroom. It's going to be the best ballroom this world's ever seen. Beautiful ballroom. I'm not exaggerating that. That's actually what he said. That's word for word what he said. It was like very good. By the way, these trucks,
So distraught. So
they're redoing
distraught.
my ballroom. It's going to be gold, best
You see the
ballroom ever.
ballroom though? You see the
Did you see
ballroom
that
though?
ballroom? You want to come see it? All right, I'll let you go see it.
Who are we talking about again?
What did you say? I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Who?
Beautiful day.
David?
Not only did he say he's doing very well after Charlie Kirk's assassination, he said that on 9/11. He's doing very well. Lights are on, no one home. Last but finally not least, what we talked about, which is, yes, a January 6th insurrectionist who was pardoned by Trump himself, took it upon himself to be the FBI. Because Kash Patel isn't doing it. He said, don't worry, I got it. Anyone, send me something. I will find who you are. I will dox you online, but I'm gonna save myself because I'm gonna say on the website that I'm not doxing you. So it can't be doxing because I said on the website it wasn't doxing.
Because that's how
Even
it
though
works.
it says where you live, where you work, screenshots of
Your
private
first and last name.
conversations, first, last name. But I said at the top of the website that I wasn't doxing. So safe. Yeah, that didn't really work out for you because here's how you know they're wrong. And they know they're wrong is because they don't just like have the website go away and them say like, oh, they took it down. No, they slowly start to take stuff off so they don't have to take the website down. So they start removing like the last names or like where they work and try to save themselves. The problem is the internet's forever. And it was like, okay, well, we can see what you did. And also, might I add, anyone who sent in anonymous submissions doesn't know what an IP address is.
They're traceable.
I'm pretty sure you had to put in your Gmail in order
FYI.
to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't star 60 email.
Like if they were smart enough, they'd try the VPN. But I know
Or
that
make a burner
don't
email.
know what a VPN is. So obviously the site got taken down and they broke federal laws and state laws. So anyone who was doxxed and let go from their jobs can sue
Go get that
everyone.
bag.
So to them, we say, go get that bag. And this is why January 6th insurrectionists should not have been pardoned because they keep criminaling in broad daylight. Unbelievable.
Forgot to add, they tried to take away our First Amendment today. Brian Mast in Florida, congressman, tried to introduce a bill basically saying that if you speak out against Israel, Marco Rubio can take away your passport. He got a whole bunch of backlash, said, all right, my bad. Sorry.
Sorry I spoke.
We got an update from our friend Bernard Taylor running against him, Florida, District 7. Okay. I'm going to interview him at some point.
We'll get him on.
Yeah, we're going to get him on. So
yeah. And
I would have been remiss.
We're still here.
Yeah, we made it. We survived the purge.
We survived the TikTok immediate purge. Again, it's still new. It was only, been 2 days. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything crazy yet.
It's supposed to go dark again in 2 days. It's going to get extended again. They say there's
as
a
of
deal
right
with
now,
China.
Yeah,
There's
the
no deal
latest
with China.
update as of an hour ago was that they believe they have an agreement. He's not going to let it go dark. The only reason
China has said
let
nothing.
it go dark is if I think the only way he'd let it go dark is if people were even more celebratory, even though they think that we weren't. But if we were all celebratory last week, I think he would have let it go dark just out of spite.
Oh yeah, but then they have the White House account. They didn't do that for no reason.
Yeah, no, they
Go dark.
they're not going to let it go dark. So I'm not worried about it, but we're still
Contributes too much to the economy.
can't get rid of me, bitch.
You thought?
Still here. We haven't posted anything, so there's nothing to ban us.
Yeah. Gotcha. Can't ban us
Can't
if we
ban
don't
us if we
post
don't
anything.
post.
So yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching another episode. Please make sure to follow us on all our socials in case we do get banned. YouTube, Substack, Spotify, Instagram, Blue Sky, Skylight, all those things.
Yes.
They're all in our bio on
writing
TikTok.
articles soon.
Yeah.
We post our podcast on there, but I typically try to put out a couple articles, but life has been life and it's just the two of us. So
Yeah. This isn't our job yet.
yeah, we do have jobs still.
Unfortunately. I'm over that shit. But yes, follow us on all of the socials. We will have another a grassroots candidate episode coming for you, and we're going to keep the
Perfect.
ball rolling on that one. We're going to have the big catalog. That way, everyone can see who they need to vote for in the upcoming midterms.
And
And we will catch you guys next time on episode 24.
have a good
Thanks for
week. Hopefully
listening.
this week's better. We'll see. Bye, everyone.
Bye.